At Genoa Ventures, venture capital is our business, but our purpose is cultivating the exceptional leaders and visionaries who are turning impactful science into companies of consequence. Hi, I'm Jenny Rook. I'm the founder and managing director of Genoa Ventures. One thing I love about entrepreneurship and about being a VC to support entrepreneurs is how it allows visionaries who see how the world could be, how it should be, to step outside of conventional permission structures and make something new. It is so hard. We know. We've been there as operators. We've walked the path, sometimes successfully and sometimes not. We've learned some of those lessons. We want to be there to help the next generation of entrepreneurs get there, hopefully faster and with fewer of the mistakes we made along the way.
So I'm Rich Kellerman. I'm the CEO and founder of Pet Foods based out of Boulder, Colorado. And we're working with precision fermentation technology to make meat protein for pet food applications instead of harvesting these ingredients conventionally on farm and field. We're doing this for a host of reasons. There's a tremendous amount of stress on the protein supply chain more broadly in the human food space and pet food space. But when it comes to companion animals, many major multinational pet food manufacturers have a line of sight where 5-10 years down the road, they're going to actually run out of protein to formulate with to satiate the growing demand from a growing pet population. So I think one advantage of our conversations and our engagement with Genoa, ultimately why they invested, is they could take their experience in parallel industries of biotechnology and understand the different kinds of steps and gates that we would need to clear to have a viable, sustainable biotech, food tech business. And just that translation from that experience that they had with other verticals, other companies, kind of brought itself to bear where they got exactly kind of what Bond was trying to accomplish and how our technology really could create value in this vertical, in this space. Genoa is focused on building best practices for investing in category-defining companies. And they're fit to do that because they have depth of experience investing in a variety of different verticals and companies.
Hi, my name's Landon Merrill. I'm a partner at Genoa Ventures. The way I think about bioconvergence investing is the kind of collision happening between the technology and biology, such that it's sprouting new areas of opportunity, new markets, new application sets, things that don't really have homes currently, that don't fit into common sectors in the space, which creates a challenge that the normal playbooks and the normal rules don't really apply. And so it requires a complete rethinking of how we invest in the space, how we build companies, how we create companies, and ultimately how they go about operating and maturing to a commercial state and ultimately exiting.
Hi, my name's Rajiv Mahadevan. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Attune Neurosciences.
Hi, I'm Keith Murphy. I'm the CTO and co-founder of Attune Neurosciences.
Attune has built the world's first non-invasive deep brain neurostimulation device that can be used at home. The technology can target any region of the deep brain, and by doing that, can modulate structures that underlie a host of biological processes. We have tested our device in over 10 trials, ranging from chronic pain to depression to tinnitus to schizophrenia, and have seen consistently some incredible results with patients and their experiences using our technology. I would start by saying that what's unique about Attune that doesn't fit a traditional model in many theses of different venture capital companies is that we set ourselves out from the beginning to be a platform technology. The second is obviously we had to have conviction in building a hard product. And hard products in the new age of AI are typically not in favor these days. And so we needed a company that could think creatively around supporting the development of a platform while also supporting the development of a hard tech product.
For Rajiv and I, it's been challenging because consumer grade neurotechnology, think of like something you put on your head and there's like a little electrical stimulation. It's not clinically validated and it may not actually work, but people buy it. And when we started the company, we were actually going the opposite direction. So we took a device that was a surgical instrument, literally that would burn tissue in the deep brain. And we asked ourselves, what if we sort of turned it down and found that space in between where it would sort of massage and change neural activity for therapeutic benefit, but not damage it. So it, in and of itself, that in between is its own category that I would say doesn't exist in neurotechnology. And we've been battling that since the beginning, and we're making some really big strides.
Then every now and then you run across a company or a group of companies that just don't cleanly fit into those categories. They're, in a sense, kind of category defying. And ultimately, these things shouldn't be neglected or shied away from because of that fact. We should put the effort in to understand them, figure out what kind of solves they are and how to ultimately mature them to their best state. We spend the time to pursue those because we really do think those are the future advancements that need to come to market and need to develop their own sectors. And when the best practices don't exist for them, someone's got to build it. And so, we see it as our imperative to jump in and do that, to learn these things, to be willing to make mistakes, to grow and build the best practices that are required for maturing these companies into category-defining companies.
Hey, my name is Matt, and I am the co-founder of New Culture.
And hi, I'm Inya, co-founder of New Culture.
So what we do at New Culture is we make animal-free dairy cheese. And what that means is that it is a animal-free cheese that is truly indistinguishable to conventional dairy cheese in taste and texture and functionality, and everything you love about cheese, you'll find it in New Culture cheese. And the reason why we are doing that is because conventional dairy cheese is really unsustainable. It is the third most unsustainable food product in the world after beef and lamb. And we really need a better way to make a more sustainable cheese that people actually enjoy. Because let's face it, plant-based cheese, vegan cheese is pretty terrible. And so we use biotechnology to produce animal proteins without requiring the animal. And these are specific dairy proteins called casein protein. And they are what gives cheese all the cheesy properties. That's what we make with biotechnology. That's what allows us to make a cheese that is indistinguishable to conventional dairy cheese and will be on the market very soon. So what was interesting is that, especially in our latest fundraise, we had a lot of investors automatically think about plant-based companies. So these are companies like Oatly and Beyond Meat. And of course, we've seen the rise and fall of those companies. And there was some hesitation from investors because of looking at that pattern. And of course, what we had to educate them on is that we are making a truly indistinguishable product where consumers don't have to sacrifice any part of the experience of consuming our cheese compared to regular conventional cheese. The same is not true for plant-based products. They're not there yet. They're not indistinguishable. And that's what I actually firmly believe is why we haven't seen the repeat purchases of those plant-based products. What New Culture is doing, we're really on the frontier of food innovation. And we're doing something that investors really haven't seen before. And that is what we call Food 3.0, right? It goes above plant-based. It really makes an indistinguishable food product to what you'd conventionally find out there on the grocery shelves.
Genoa, seeing how far we are today and how much we've achieved on our fundamental technology platform made them really click and made them, as being an expert in science, having a team that's so strong technologically, them really understanding that this actually unlocks this completely new product category that we're making. And that even though this category doesn't exist yet on the shelves or in the market, that it's necessary actually, that it should be one day in the world out there.
Without these companies, we simply just don't have the future core sectors required for pushing science forward, for pushing healthcare forward, for pushing civilization forward, frankly. And if we all kind of shy away from the hard problems and the hard solves, then it just slows everything down. We gotta keep pushing forward, and we gotta keep fostering these unique opportunities such that in the future they do become the core sectors, or they become their own core sectors that we can develop and ultimately deliver to market.